Welcome back, gamers. With the launch of PS5 for Arma Reforger, there might be a lot of new members in here. And if so, that's completely fine, because we're here to help you with tips and tricks videos, and just general know-how on how to play the game itself. Alright, so maybe you just bought Arma Reforger, and you have no idea what to do with this game, and you just downloaded it. So first things first, you're going to get into a main menu like this, and you're going to have a couple of selections you can do. You can go to multiplayer. A lot of people might just go and jump into there. Go to the workshop. Well, actually, no, you're not going to have a workshop on PlayStation yet because of no mods available. I apologize. And then you can go to play. So if you go to play, you can go to the Game Master Ireland, you can go to Conflict Ireland, or you can go to training. I really highly recommend the training. This is the new tutorial. Very helpful. So that is my first recommendation right there. Or you can do the Combat Ops Everon, which is more like a single player mission style. I have not really played it, so I can't really touch a whole lot on that. A lot of people in my chat says it's really good. I still need to cover a video on this, guys. And then the other section over here is scenarios. Now, there's pre-done scenarios by Bohemia. This is all vanilla Reforger. So they capture and hold different camps, different areas. So you can kind of go around and do these different missions. Really cool. Like I said, these are something I really need to do more of. These are the multiplayer section. You can see how many players on the right hand side, 24. So if you want to do this with friends or whatever, you both can join the same server and do a kind of like a multiplayer capture and hold style gameplay. Now, let's say you did the tutorial, or maybe you're someone who didn't like playing tutorials and you don't do that. That's completely fine. What you're going to want to do is go to multiplayer. Now, this brings up a complete like server selection area. I'm on tabbed all. You can go to community or official. First, we're going to check out official. Now, on the right hand corner here, you can see, we're going to use my mouse for this, it's easier to show you guys. I'm on PC. I did a vanilla setting, so none of the modded servers get shown, so that way it's not confusing you guys. So it's completely vanilla. That's what you guys are going to see on PlayStation 5, and we're on crossplay. So on the official tab here, these are all just the official servers. The maximum is 48 players, and there's a queue system, which is really nice. Right hand side, you're going to see your ping. That's pretty obvious. It says right here. And then it shows you the map. So it's two different maps, Everon or the Ireland map. The Ireland map is a lot easier to learn. It's a lot smaller. I highly recommend you players go into this map. And then you can see this is the server number. So it'll say like APSY depending on your location. A lot of times I'll play on the US and New York side. That's kind of like what's the best ping for me. And then say if you want a buddy to play with you on PlayStation, there is no like PlayStation, you can't invite them through the PlayStation menu or like the Xbox menu, stuff like that. You have to find the exact server that you're on, like this one. So like the last two numbers, and it's 035, US, New York, and I'll tell a buddy that. And then they can join that server and, you know, play with you and stuff, which is really cool. Another thing you want to know is, on these servers, say if you find a server that you and your buddy really like, you can go over to the star symbol and like it. And now that'll go over to the favorites tab. And it's right there. 035, US, New York. Speaking of favorite tab, I have a bunch of them over here. We'll talk about those in a minute. Now to let everyone know, all the official servers are PvPvE. So it's 48 total, so 24 versus 24. And it's also AI throughout the map. Maybe you want to play with more PvP though, like more enemies. 48's not the cap, which is amazing. It's the cap on official servers, but not on the community servers. I apologize if my voice sounds off right now. I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or something, but I apologize. So yes, go to the community tab. Like I said, I made sure vanilla setting is selected. So it's all the crossplay. Everything on here is PlayStation 5 players can play. Now there's a bunch of 128 players PvP style gameplay, which is nice. Now you can find some servers that are PvP specific. You can find some servers that are PvE specific. You can also find some servers that are first person locked as well. You just have to search around if you're wondering, maybe there's not enough servers. This is the community tab. Look how many there are. And this little bar is only up here. Watch it scroll down. There are hundreds of servers, if not thousands. Obviously the top servers are going to be the most filled. But you can see from this point right here, I mean, I'm at 1 o'clock in the morning right now. So it is, you know, during around the time when not many people are going to be on, but there's still full servers with queues. Absolutely insane. Speaking of that, I gotta favorite this one because I forgot to favorite that one earlier. All the 3D Marine Raider ones, these are good. So now we're gonna go over. Okay, dark grew is good too. Okay, there we go. Let's go over to the favorite section now. Now you can see all the my favorites right here. So we get dark grew. They're really good. I play a lot of their modded servers. This is a PS5 Volcom, so it's a completely cross-play server, which is really cool. 3D Marine Raider Battalion, the Dab King on YouTube. He plays on these a lot. He's a really good guy. Go check out his channel. If anyone's been watching my live streams recently, a lot of the servers are playing on Casual Ops Central 1 crossplay. I've been loving that server. The server owner, Drift, he's a really cool dude. He gave me admin permissions to go to Game Master mode during that, like during the game. Sorry if that was a little bit, you know, long-winded to the beginning of this video. I really haven't taught a whole lot of tips yet, but like this is just talking about the servers and kind of like getting into the game itself, because these servers can be daunting for new players and you might not understand a lot of it. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the game and show you guys exactly how to play and what to do. Alright, so you get this menu here. As you saw, I just selected through it. And then you get this menu saying deployment setup. You either pick the United States side or the Soviet side. Alright, this right here is very important, because before you decide to pick, you cannot switch throughout the round. If you pick Soviet Army or US Army, you have to be that faction until the whole server resets or the round resets. Keep that in mind if you're trying to play like with a buddy of yours, or if you don't like that faction. We decide to go Russians, we're going to go with them. You select a group to play in, as you just saw there. I kind of did kind of fast for you guys. I apologize. I do it by heart. I don't really think about it. So what that was is a squad selection. I just created my own group. So if you have squad members, like friends that you want to play with, you can join their squad. And I'll show you how to switch squads in game here in a minute. So the game looked like it just started, and I know this because we don't have many bases right now. Green is AI, red is Russian, and the blue is going to be the US Army. So we don't have many bases, so this is a brand new fresh round, so we're going to start at main operating base. You see this is the main operating base. The symbol to the little white symbol down below, to the left hand corner, is a arsenal box. We do not have one, unfortunately. The next one is a small vehicle bay. Then there's a heavy vehicle bay, then helicopter, living quarters, radio tower, then helipad, and then a field bay. No, he doesn't know how. Supplies is 205 out of 4,000. Alright, when you spawn in, we spawn into main operating base, and a lot of the troops are already moved out, so it's not really many people here. Just very barren and stuff like that. Or sometimes you'll spawn in, there might be a lot of people in the main base. We already have a vehicle, small vehicle bay built, it looks like, and a large vehicle bay built. I'm going to show you guys how to build a ammo box. Go to the main command post right here, the little tent. Go to this little billboard, and hit start building. I'll bring up this like 3D menu here, like this bird's eye view. You can select down on the controller. I'm using controller right now. Even though I am playing on PC, I am playing with Xbox controller. But for some reason, it shows PlayStation controls. I don't understand it. And for everyone out there, I am playing with the legacy controls. I highly recommend the legacy controls. I don't know the update controls at all. I apologize. I may have to make a future video showing you how to use the different control binds and stuff on there. My recommendation is if you like the update controls and they're trying to correlate stuff from this video to there, just look up in the options menu in the keybinds, and you can always rebind your controller if you do not like them. Anyway, so you're in this little mode here. You click down on the D-pad, and it brings this little menu, and it lets you scroll across left and right. And then we want an ammo box, which is like an arsenal box called, actually. We're trying to build this here, and then we're exit out. And then you notice it's not built, right? Like, it's nothing here. It's just a little metal post. So what you're going to do is get your shovel out. You need a shovel, guys. And then it'll be this kind of transparent white look to it. That shows you where you can build stuff. You look down, hold the triangle button on PS or Y on Xbox controller, and then you just continue to build. Alright, so once you got the little box built here, I recommend going to the right hand side first. This is where all your gear is going to be, like your clothing and whatnot. So you go over, you open the arsenal box, and I recommend going to get a backpack immediately. You want a backpack on you, and then from there you can see you start with a couple bandages and one morphine. You want to make sure you carry more than that. Rule of thumb, I carry at least 4 to 5 bandages total, so I got 2 here and 3 here. You can stack them up if you want to have it in one spot. As you can see, it's full now, and then I carry at least 3 morphines. That's the amount you want to carry realistically for just going on the battlefield, because you end up using bandages a whole lot. And then you can also see all the other supplies you can get. You already have like the watch and all the other stuff. But you can change your vest out, which is really cool. There's 4 pages here. You can get different style backpacks, different chest plate carriers, or rigs you call them.
Oh, there's a VSD?
And there's different helmet styles too. So you can completely customize your character and decide how you want to look. You don't have to wear a helmet.
No way.
But armor in this game, like helmets will actually save your life. Bullets will ricochet off the helmet. Or if you get shot in the head by a lower caliber, it might not go through and it might just make you go unconscious. So it's very helpful to wear a helmet. Once you get all your clothing set up and your backpack on and all that good stuff, go over here to the weapons box. And from here you can choose whatever weapon you want. There's a couple AK-74Us, normal AKs, RPKs. I run the PKM a lot of times. It's a very heavy gun. I don't recommend it for new players, mostly because it's a very slow running gun and the recoil is very heavy on it. But once you get more used to the aim, 100% recommend this. And then you get your SVD sniper rifle. We're gonna grab one of those. You can, so on controller you can't click and drag like this. I'll show you on controller how to do it. So yeah, on controller you want to make sure you hit A. Well, A is for Xbox, X is for PS5 players. You go down to the gun you want, and hit square on it like this, and it equips your gun for you. And then from there you can grab your scope, grab all your ammo. There's different ammo types, so make sure you read the descriptions of the ammo. Decide what you want, whether it be tracers. For sniper rounds, tracers are really good for new players because you can see the bullet drop, and there is a lot of bullet drop in this game. I run the API rounds a lot. Those are really good too. And then the other selection over here is suppressors for the AKs, as well as muzzle brakes and stuff like that, flash hiders. Once you get your loadout completely saved, what you're going to want to do, go down here and save loadout. You want to save loadout, you'll get a little prompt at the right hand corner, right? It'll say you saved your current loadout, so when you get that, you'll confirm you saved your loadout, so that's good. So every time you die, you'll respawn with your kit that you have. And so you wonder, how do you put your sniper scope on? Well, there's multiple ways of doing that. You can hold weapon inspect. Now, like I said, this is all legacy controls, so you might have to go in and check to see if you're doing updated controls or legacy. I'll show you that in a minute on how to switch that if you want. If you hold the X button, it weapons inspects, and you can, detach your mag, or you can attach your PSO1 scope. So there you go. Now I got the sniper scope attached, and that's how you do that. The other way is to go into the menu, go over to it, and hit triangle for you guys on PS. Hold triangle over the weapon, and it'll bring up a second inventory over here, and it'll show you what attachments you have on your gun. So there's another way to attach your all your stuff to your gun. Now let's go to the settings, and I'll show you that setting I was talking about. If you scroll all the way over to the right hand corner where it says controllers, you can choose your legacy or updated controls. I play on legacy, like I said. I enjoy them better, but that's completely up to you guys. Now, over controls, you can check every single control bind and combination. This is common. You scroll over to equipment, character, vehicle, helicopter, weapon, turret, camera, and game master. Now, if you don't like some of the controls, like I said, you can rebind them really easy, which is really nice about this game. Another setting I highly recommend for new players is go to the gameplay setting and go down to where the FOV is. I keep my FOV at 80%, or 80 degrees, I mean not 80%. If you go to 90 degrees, I'll show you, it ends up getting a fisheye lens kind of look, where you see a lot of your arm. A lot of players like this, but I do not, because it makes it, like, looking at enemies further out harder, because yes, you have a better FOV, but you really don't need a high FOV unless you're going inside of a base, like inside of a building or something. That guy just spamming his horn on his car, really, bro. So I recommend around 80 degrees is good. As you can see, it pulled the screen a little bit more, and you can see a little further out. A really cool neat feature is this little focus zoom in feature without actually aiming on sight. Right, it'll be L2 for you guys, so it'll be the aiming button. You just halfway press it, and you'll kind of do this little zoom in feature. And obviously you'll aim down sight so you fully push it in. Now, if you just tap L2, you can aim in, but you can see the FOV is a lot further, so you can see more on the sides of your scope, and the scope looks smaller. Now this is really good for close quarter combat inside a building, because you still get your side-to-side view. And then from here, if you hold L2, you'll zoom into your original scope, like zoom in. So this is pressing, and this is holding. You can see the big difference in here. You can see further out with this feature. And if you're at closer range, to do this feature here, which is the tap button. Now I'll preference again. Tap L2, I was just gonna say the aim in button. Tap the aim in button. Hold the aim button. Aim in button. And if you tap it, and you still want to do, and if you want to go into a further zoom, like I said, you can hold it. Really neat feature that works with any gun. That's not just snipers or anything. So you can do this, or you can look further like that. So tapping, holding. Like I said, inside of a building, it's really good just to tap it because you're held back on your gun a little bit, so you don't see as much like further in. Because zooming like this inside a building, sometimes you don't see around corners and stuff, so you want to kind of keep your FOV really good. That makes it so you don't have to adjust the FOV every time you go into a building. Another great tip for new players to know is these RPK 45 rounder mags can fit in any AK variant. So these 45 rounder mags can fit in the RPK, the AK, or the AK-74U. So let's grab an AK-74U. We'll grab some 45 rounders. If you don't put that 45 round mag in, you can just keep hitting reload until it pops in, or you can weapon inspect, go down, and attach the 45 round mag that way. And that way you're running with 45 round mags. Now land navigation. This is something you're going to have to learn kind of on your own. I know it's kind of hard to say, but full map guide later in the video helps players out more, but the best way to learn is to drive around the map, or to go to Game Master mode and fly around the map and learn it by that. One more quick thing about the map, it's not really about the map itself, it's about how to find enemies fast. That is moving to the front lines. So as we can see right now, the Americans are holding province right now. We have Entre Deux and we have the coastal base right here. So if I was to get into combat, I would go over to the province base and fight them over there. Or if you really want harder combat, like a really intense combat, go to these main purple bases. Now these are the main purple bases that you need to capture to win the game. 5 main bases, as you can see up here, is what you need. So once you capture 5 of these main bases, hold them for 5 minutes, you win the game. So yeah, if you're looking for combat, and you know the Americans are holding a main purple base, go to that base, and there should be a lot of enemies there. A lot of new players will go around to random locations and not realize that there's no enemies, there might be just AI. So you kind of have to learn the map and learn where the front line's going to be. Each match is going to be completely different, so there's no going to be 2 experiences that you have that are the same. So that's something you're going to learn, just kind of learn the tactics of pinch points on the map and where to go. Alright, we're going to be moving on to leaning. So on legacy controls for leaning, the right stick you click down, and use your left stick back and forth for leaning. Very neat feature when you're going around corners, and you just want to pop your head out and you don't want to expose your entire body. And then if you want to bring up your weapon wheel, hold select, and then you can see your dragon down below. Y is going to be the secondary, X is my primary. So if I hit Y, I'll pull up the secondary, go back to X, and it'll select my primary. And this is where you're going to access your healings from. So your bandage, tourniquet, morphine. Now you can see there is no, where's my saline solution? It's not on here. So what you're going to want to do is go to the select menu, go to your saline bag or whatever you want on the hotbar, hit A on it, or for you guys X, go down to whatever you want to change out and hit A on it. Or like I said, X, sorry, I say A because I'm on Xbox controller, but it's X for you guys. It's a select button. And now it's on my hotbar. So when I go out of this menu and hold select, it will be here, the saline solution. So you can kind of customize that hotbar however you want, so that way you can quickly get to your bandages and all your medical stuff, and then your grenades and your etching tool. Called the etching tool, more like it's a shovel, but yeah, etching tool, there it is. So maybe you want to find enemies far out and you don't have a long range scope. What you want to do is hold down on the D-pad and you pull out your binoculars. These saved me so many times from getting sniped by spotting enemies further out. I mean, I can see way out there. We own that base, but you can see a lot of dead bodies around the area. The render distance on PlayStation 5 might be a little lower, but it's still pretty decent. I'd say that distance you can still see in PlayStation. On PC I can see way further out. Obviously, like that far you can't see that far out, but seeing that distance you can easily do on console. Another tip that I highly recommend is going into the settings menu, and I can't show on here because I have video settings for the PC. Underneath your video settings there should be a quality preset like this. Mine's on custom obviously, but you want to set to I think on PlayStation it's called quality or performance. You want it on performance because quality mode will give you slightly better graphics, But the only problem with that is it locks at 30 FPS. So you want to make sure you go to performance mode and give you that full 60 FPS experience. I played on the Xbox on quality mode at 30 FPS for way too long before I realized that. Another tip to quickly get out a piece of gear is hold left on the D-pad. This will pull out your flashlight. Real helpful for nighttime warfare. Obviously it's daytime, so you really can't see the flashlight a whole well. And if you're wondering how to equip this to your actual, like, your shoulder rig while you're gunning and running, when you have the flashlight out like this and it's turned on, you want to hit the fire button. If you shoot the fire button, he will put the flashlight onto his vest. As you can see, it's on right now on my chest. Like I said, you can't really see it on the ground. I mean, you can see it a little bit, but there you go. Good example. So that way you can run around while shooting and still have a flashlight going at the same time. And then if you want to take it back off, you just hold that left D-pad again. He pulls it out. And you can turn it off by hitting the square button, and then it's off. Up on the D-pad is your compass. We're on the Russian side, so we're using this weird compass. The Russian compass is that is north right there. The little golden arrow is north. Hold the aim-in button to kind of see down like this, so you can see your exact degrees and whatever you need to do. Compass is very helpful for navigating when you're new because you don't know around the map. So if you know you need to move north, grab your compass and check out where you need to go. Holding right on the D-pad will pull out the map, and that is all the D-pad options right there. Now we're talking about squads earlier, so maybe if you joined a squad randomly like I did in the beginning of the game and you want to switch your squad, hold start and right bumper. You gotta kind of click them at the same time. So yeah, hold start, right bumper, which is going to be R1 for you, and brings up the group menu, your squad menu. So you can see all the different squads, all the different radio frequencies. I can hop onto any radio frequency I want, even if I'm not in the squad. We'll talk about radios here in a minute. So if you want to join a new group, you just hit triangle on the group you want to do, or you can create a new group. As you see at the bottom right hand corner, which is for me, it's select. You hold select and it creates your own group. Now within this group you can do group settings. You can make it public or private. So say if you got a bunch of friends that are playing with you and they join your group, you can just lock that out so no other people can join it, and then you can name your group whatever you want to make it easier for your friends to find you. Now we're going to talk about radios and proxy. So L1 for you guys, if you just tap L1, it's going to lock out the proxy symbol up on the top left hand corner. You see the little microphone locked out. That means you're talking, enemies can hear you, your friendlies can hear you within a certain radius. And if you hold L1, it brings you to your radio comms like this, 46 megahertz. That will talk between you and your group only, like you and your little squad. And then if you want to click it off, you just tap L1 again, and it'll click it off. Remember, tap for proxy, hold for radio comms. And if you hold L1 and hit your square button, it will bring up a radio menu like this. I have my radio off right now. To turn that radio off and on, you just go up to the selection like this, and you click the right stick down, and you get the green light meaning the radio's on. Click it again. Radio off. On, off. Very simple. Now you can actually select your radio channels, but you need to make sure the radio is on before you select the radio channels up and down like this. Select it. You go up and down on the D-pad while you're hovering over which channel you want. Now if you select down here, this is the platoon channel. 42 megahertz is our platoon channel. It says it right there. And if I select that, so I'm hovering over it. If I'm hovering over it, you hit the fire button, so it would be R2 for you guys. And now, when I go to radio, it's platoon. See, I said platoon left hand corner. I wasn't going to speak into it because I don't want to mess up, the troops. And that platoon channel talks across your entire team, so everyone who has a radio can hear that on your team.
Yo, Simon's Woods, and I forget the other one. It starts with the M. We need to take those. They're right behind Montignac, south of Montignac.
And see, that was the guy talking about, Montignac and Simon's Woods. He was talking on platoon channel to everybody, kind of just rallying them up. And if you want to go back to your private little squad chat, you go up to the top, hit the fire button again over it, and then it will, selected your radio station on the left-hand side, it'll tell you. Now, I heard a lot of PlayStation players are having trouble with radio comms. Like they said, the symbol pops up like this, but no one could hear them. That's either because they're in a PlayStation private, chat. Xbox chat, that happened the same thing for me. If you're in a private chat, you can't talk on proxy, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. There's another thing people said on the PlayStation settings, you might have to change a setting within the audio settings, like the privacy settings. I'm not 100% on that one either. Xbox, I had to do the same thing. I had to select like allow pass-through or whatever it was on my Xbox. So you might have to look up some setting stuff if you can't get the your comms to work. As long as you can see that little proxy symbol in the left-hand corner or the radio symbol, you know it's working in the game. You should test out and be like, hey, my radio working? Let me check right now. People are very nice and they'll help you out. Hey, just checking if my mic's working. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Thank you. They just like that. If you're not sure, go up and just be like, hey, you know, is my mic working? And then people help you out all the time. This game is very, very community-based and everyone's willing to help. Alright, we're going to be talking about the vehicle bays here. This is a small vehicle bay here. You go over to it and you hold triangle and brings up this little menu and you can pick whatever vehicles you want within your supply limit. We don't have enough supplies for these 2 vehicles, so I can't spawn them. If you want to spawn a vehicle, you hit A on the vehicle. And if it's red, you can't spawn it, and you gotta go to a different area like this. Hold R1 and rotate with the left stick if you want to rotate your vehicle around. And then whenever you're ready to spawn a vehicle, and you hit A, and it'll, sorry, I keep saying A. You hit X. You hit your X button to spawn the vehicle in. And then this is the larger vehicle bay. You can go over here, and you can see a bunch of stuff in here, which is all like big trucks, the supply trucks and whatnot. So you got your transport truck. Transport truck works as transporting troops or supplies. You have a covered transport truck, an oil truck, or fuel truck, I should say, sorry, arsenal truck, and a repair truck, as well as a construction truck. Now, construction truck allows you to build fortifications outside the main base. So you just load it up with supplies, and then you can build little like bunkers and little roadblocks wherever you want on the map. The mobile command unit allows you to spawn wherever that vehicle is once you set it up. So if I go into the middle of the map and I enable the mobile command unit and turn it on, then you can spawn wherever that is. That helps spawning troops like at closer bases when you're trying to push a hard base. And then if you go over and hit R1, it will show you the armored vehicle. There's only one at the moment. It is the BTR. Now, if you know there's a base that doesn't have much supplies, what you're going to want to do is grab a transport truck or a supply truck, you call them, and you go down to these little symbols right here. These are supply symbols. Any one of these supply symbols, there's a supply depot there. You want to drive your vehicle down here, and a lot of times there's AI holding these bases, so you got to kill them. Then you can grab your supplies, bring them back to whatever base you want to. Yeah, there's multiple different ways you can rank up in this game. One of them being is capturing bases. Capturing bases gives you rank, and if you capture a main purple base, it gives you even higher rank. Sitting and defending a base will actually give you rank as well, slowly over time. Another good way is to do supply runs. This is the best way to do rank. I do not have enough supplies here to get a supply truck and show you guys, unfortunately. But if you run supplies, you will get rank. Not by driving, but by dropping the supplies off. And that is very important. A lot of people will grab supplies and they'll run them, and they're wondering, hey, why am I not getting rank? You need to bring those supplies back to a base and unload them. It isn't the person who unloads the truck gets the rank. So you want to make sure when you get back and you unload your truck, you want to make sure you're unloading the truck and not anybody else. Because if someone else does it, you will miss out on all that rank. And like I said, the higher rank you are, the better vehicles you can get, like the BTRs and the helicopters. Going back to the proxy chat thing I was talking about earlier, you want to be very careful about talking proxy and your comms around enemies because they can hear you. So if you're at an enemy base and you're talking proxy really loud, they're going to know your exact position. So you have to be kind of quiet and careful, maybe whisper into the mic. Another good feature is mounting your weapon. You can go to any weapon, click down the left stick, and he'll mount the gun. This will allow you to stabilize your shot better without having that little weapon sway. You can mount on almost anything. If you have a bipod, you can mount on the ground as well. And believe it or not, you can actually mount on soldiers if they squat down, and they can mount on top of your helmet or your shoulder. So if you're on the field and you have nowhere to mount, you can mount on your friends. That sounds really bad, though. I apologize for just running around main base telling these tips. Unfortunately, there's not many supplies here, so I can't really showcase a lot of this stuff. I'm just trying to tell you guys, you know, as much as I know here. So stamina plays a huge part in this game, and weapon sway. So naturally, there's a slight weapon sway right here. What's up? So weapon sway plays a huge part in this game. I'm standing up right now, and you can see there's a slight weapon sway. There is no hold your breath feature in this game. So there's always going to be a slight weapon sway unless you're mounting up. To mitigate that weapon sway, you can squat down. You have a little bit less weapon sway. Or you can lay down. Laying down is the best option if you can. You still have a little bit of weapon sway, but very, very little. But like I said, mounting up on objects will give you the best result on weapon sway. You can mount on a rock. And like there's almost no weapon sway right there. Now when you get into combat and you've been sprinting for a while, you are going to be tired and your weapon sway is going to be 10 times worse, as I'll show you right now. We're going to do a little run around as if I was in combat. And then we're going to squat for this one. We're squatting. Look how much the weapon sway is. You can hear your character out of breath. So you have to wait for your character to gain his breath back, and then it starts to slow down and mitigate itself. Now if you have to get into a firefight with that much weapon sway, the only way you can do, like, you get a good shot is to counteract the weapon sway. If it sways up, pull down the stick. If it sways down, pull up on the stick. You know how it goes. Kind of simple process, but something you'll learn. Now getting shot will increase your weapon sway, so you can actually get shot in different places in your body, and this menu will tell you where you got shot. There'll be a little symbol over here saying if you got shot in the arm. If you get shot in the arm, your weapon sway will increase. The only way to mitigate that is to use morphine. Well, first you got bandage your character if you're bleeding, then you get a morphine, and you continue to use morphines until that symbol goes away. Sometimes it will only allow you to use one morphine at a time. So you use the morphine, give it a few minutes, and then check the menu again. If it's still red, it says it's not improving, you go ahead and use another morphine. The game is very realistic with that. I've had my times where both my arms are shot and my weapon sway was absolutely crazy. There's been times when my legs are shot and you can't run. Because that is the thing. If you get shot in the legs, or you take fragmentation, or you break a leg by jumping down this hill too much, or over a wall, and your character's too heavy, you will hurt your legs and you will not be able to run until you fully heal them. And that plays into another part. If your character weighs too much, I only weigh 30 kg right now because I don't really have any gear on me. But if you're carrying a heavy gun like I do, and you weigh closer to like 50 to 60 kg of gear, and you jump, there's increased fall damage for how heavy your character is. So you want to watch out for that. I recommend new players staying as light as possible if you can. That way it's quicker to run around, and you don't take the fall damage as much. If your overall weight is a lot lighter, your weapon sway will be a lot less, because your guy won't get out of breath. Running a PKM at 60 kg of gear, your guy gets out of breath running 2 feet. There you go. Now you see the tracer on. You can see how much bullet drop there is in this game. When you're aiming down sight, you can push up or down on the D-pad to adjust your meterage. So at 100 meters, you can see how far down that bullet drops. Now if I adjust it all the way up to 1,000 meters, your scope will adjust to that. Obviously that's a little more than 1,000 meters, probably like 1,200. And if you go down on the second variable on the scope right there, the little tick mark, it'll hit roughly around there. A little lower, so it's a little in between the next two. And you can readjust it to 100 meters if you want, but yeah, you can see how far out you can shoot across the map technically, as long as the bullet can hit that far. And it's kind of cool because you can see the bullet arcing. Every caliber has a different bullet arc to it and different velocity. So this is the M62x54R. It has a really good range on it. I would say the only other better one is the American side, the 760x51. And that is used by the M21. That shoots really, like, not flat, but it shoots better. It wouldn't dip down that much at this distance. This is a heavier bullet. If you're unsure about buying this game, I highly recommend this game. Is worth the $40. Everything that you see in my live streams and on the game here is all base game stuff, all available for everyone on PlayStation. There is a new 1.3 update coming soon, which is going to include mortars, LAVs, rocket pod helicopters, destructible environment. And that destructible environment is going to be so cool. All the trees are going to be able to get blown up, run through by armored vehicles. Buildings are going to be able to get destroyed. So any structure like this can be destroyed. And if you're inside the structure while it crumbles, you will die. That is coming soon. I have a video on my channel kind of showcasing the mortars and stuff. From this point on in the video, there are all my older style tips and tricks videos, but I wanted to compile them all together for you guys. So the next video coming up is the tips and tricks on the map guide. And from there, it's all my old tips and tricks videos. So I just want you guys to be aware. A lot of that was obviously before PS5 even, was being released. So maybe you can still get some information out of that. I hope you can. Today, we're going to be talking about Arma Reforger's map guide. This entire video is going to be talking about the map, the symbols, and how to read it. With that being said, let's get right into the video. We're playing on the United States side, so we'll be talking about the blue symbols first, and then moving on to the rest after. So the first thing to talk about is the bases that we've captured. Now these square rectangles with that little symbol in the middle means that the base we've captured. Now if I go ahead and hover over any of these bases, whether it be this one or this one, it shows you what you have at the base itself. At Coastal Base Morton, at the moment, we don't have anything highlighted down below, meaning we don't have anything built. Go back over the main operating base, you can see we have some stuff highlighted. The symbol all the way over to the left is the armory. The symbol next over is a light vehicle depot. The one next to that is a heavy vehicle depot, which allows tanks and such. The one over to that is a medical bay, followed by a living quarters. And then one of the most important is that lightning bolt. Now that lightning bolt is a radio tower. You need a radio tower on most bases to extend your radio frequency. I'll talk about that in a minute. The symbol over to the right of that is a helicopter pad, which we do not have. And then the last one all the way to the right is the fuel depot, which now with the newest fuel update, you should have at every base with a vehicle depot, or else you'll have no fuel in your vehicle when you spawn them in. Very important. And on the bottom row, you can see your supply symbol. And this one has 4,332 supplies out of 6,700. So that way you can see how many supplies you have out of the max you can carry in the base. Another thing to note, when you're hovering over the base, you can obviously see the symbols of what kind of stuff is built at the base. If you zoom in all the way, or most of the way, you can see where they're located. So you got the ammunition points here, vehicle depot, radio tower way down here. So if you spawn in the base and you don't know where stuff is located, flip open your map, zoom in, and you can see where the actual stuff is located. Alright, moving on to the next symbol, which are these rectangles with the X's in it. Now these are platoon leaders, or you can say group leaders. Now there's one group leader per unit, and they can have multiple people under your command, like in your group. They don't have to follow you, but they can follow you if they want. Essentially what it is, this shows you where your leader is at all times. Alright, let's use this for example. Let's see this person right here, Master J9153. Let's say if this person has 5 people under his command or in his group with him, it will not show you on the map where your teammates are. It only shows you where your commander is, like your group leader, or whatever you want to call it. And it also shows you which frequency they're under, 38.0 megahertz. Alright, zooming out the map a little bit, we'll go back over to this base here where we had a radio tower. So you might be wondering, what are these little red lines, these faint red lines you can see here, going into the bases? These are all radio tower frequencies, meaning you hover over the base with the tower, they'll get brighter, and they'll show you exactly what bases they can extend to, meaning you can go capture any of those bases that are white with the green. And that rolls into the next thing, the green with the white. This is more or less a neutral zone, where the enemies don't have it and you don't have it either. It's owned by the FIA, which is an AI controlled faction. So when you go into these bases, you want to make sure you kill out all the AI, and then you want to capture the base. So the more towers you build at bases, the more radio frequency zones you can go to. You may be wondering, what are these little yellow symbols here? These yellow symbols here are unknown zones. So you might actually know what they are, but you can't go capture the base because we have no radio frequency. So if I was driving a Jeep down this road right here, as soon as I passed this zone and this zone, it would come up with a prompt saying radio signal lost, because I am not in the radio frequency zone anymore. That being said, just because we can't see this base doesn't mean the enemies don't own it. Obviously we're playing the US side right now, so the Russians might own this base and be a red symbol, but we can't tell until we have radio frequency to that zone. So you see up top where you see the different symbols up top here. You can see me scrolling across. So you can get this protractor looking thing out if you really want to. There is objectives. If you want to see the actual names of the bases in order, you can even put up a compass up on the top left hand corner. You can even put a watch up there if you want to see what time it is and look how fast the time's going. Let's say if I wanted to push from Richmond to Fagari, I can go into the pencil symbol, hit A again, it draws a little X with the pencil, and you can drag it over to Fagari. And this indicates that I'm going to be pushing from this point to this point here. If you don't want to have it anymore, you go over to the X button here and hit it again. Now there's a lot more symbols that are available to use on the map that you might have seen before and kind of wondering what they are. So if I'm on console, if you hit X, you go to this little wheel, you go commanding, or you can go to markers. Go into markers, you get custom marker or military marker. Let's first go to the military marker. So the military marker allows you to mark any color, doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, right now we're playing the US side, so anything blue would be friendly, red enemy, and the green would be independent, like AI faction. So let's say I found a Russian vehicle or a Russian ambush somewhere. So once you've selected which faction you want to be talking about, whether it be friendlies or enemies, you go down to the category, which is land, air, installment. So let's go say land. Now this is just a land marker. Nothing really fancy to it. You can go customize it again. But if you want to go into more detail, you scroll down to Type 1. Type 1 allows you to specify exactly what that marker means. Infantry, motorized, armor, anti-armor, mortar, artillery, fixed wing, rotary wing, recon, supply, maintenance, medical, grenade, machine gun, sniper, light, mobile command unit. I mean, there's a lot. It goes on for a while. So you can specify exactly what that marker means. Alright, we're going to put it on armor. Alright, we're going to scroll down to where it says text. Right here. BTR. Now, that marker will say that BTR is here. There you go. Hit A. If you hit B, it'll get rid of the marker, and it won't save it. But if you hit A on it, it'll save it, and now this says that BTR was here. You're maybe placing the wrong spot. Don't worry about that, because you can hover over it, and over in the bottom left corner, it says drag. Right stick down. You can drag that marker wherever you please. Bam, let's drag into the ocean, because I don't want people to think there's a BTR right over there. So, because I'm in a live match, obviously. So yes, that is how you do symbols. Alright, let's move on to custom markers. When you're in the custom markers, there are a lot of different markers here. And a lot of these, none of these have actual descriptions on them. So the most important thing is to write down the text exactly what it means. Some people might understand what some of these mean, like the flags, and these right here, landmines. But a lot of these don't make a whole lot of sense to some people. So the most important thing is to write down the text of what you're marking and what it is exactly. There's also arrows and maneuvers. Now we're moving on to the next section. Supplies and fuel. So you see people doing supply runs and you're not sure where to get supplies. Anywhere on the map when you're looking. Now these depots can be scattered around the entire map. There's not going to be a whole lot of them, so they are far few between. Like there's one here. There's one over by Fagari. There's one up top here. And one over here. Those are the main ones I know about. And then let's talk about fuel. Fuel, if you don't have a fuel station at your actual base, or let's say you're going across the map and you're running out of fuel, you want to make sure you know where the fuel bases are. Anything with a fuel symbol like a gas station, you can go get fuel. So fuel depots are scattered all around the map. They're kind of located in convenient spots where you need to in between bases. So wherever you see a gas station, if you're passing by, make sure to stop and fuel up your vehicle. Now you might be wondering, how do I know where I am on the map? Obviously I can see other platoon leaders, but I can't see myself. Only way is to read this down below. You are western Everon, north of Morton Valley. So I already know where I'm at. I'm at Richmont right now, but it doesn't tell you which base you're at. So you look on the map, Morton Valley right here, and I'm north of that. So I would assume I'm somewhere in this region. Let's say if I went a little bit more north than I actually was, then it wouldn't say I was north of Morton Valley anymore. It would say I'm south of Moonstone Pond. Wherever you are on the map, it'll tell you where your nearest named location is. Keep that in mind. Some servers have a blue chip system where you can tell your exact, location and whatnot, but they took that off of this unfortunately because the mod had issues. So if you don't know the map, that's the only way to know where you are, is to read this down here. The other thing I'd like to talk about is the yellow lines on the map. The bright yellow line on the left hand side is a main road, meaning it's a 2-lane road with yellow painted lines in the middle. The light yellow line is a smaller paved road. The bright brown lines are more of a dirt road style, and the little black dotted lines are like a trail, more like a hiking trail. Alright everybody, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really hope this helped you out as well. Please let me know in the comments below if this video did help. Let me know what I could have done better, and please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Welcome back gamers. Today we're talking about 10 Arma Reforger tips I wish I knew sooner. Alright, tip number 1 is bullet drop. Some new players might be coming from Call of Duty, where it's hit scan, there's no real bullet drop. I know when you play Warzone there is bullet drop, but multiplayer matches there's no bullet drop at all. Battlefield games there is bullet drop, but it's not a Milsim style game. So bullet drop is a real thing in this game, and it depends on what caliber you're using. Right now I have a 5.56 gun with tracer mags, I'm using tracers because it can kind of see the actual bullet drop. As you can see, the bullet drops quite a bit at that distance. Now, I don't know the meterage of where I'm hitting, so that's something you need to use either rangefinder or your binoculars to kind of test it out. So adjusting your meterage on your scope will be able to determine how far you are if you don't have a rangefinder. See, I'm set at 600 meters. I'm hitting just about where I'm aiming, so that's about 600 meters where I'm shooting, roughly, not 100%. You need a rangefinder to determine the exact distance, which you can put onto your gun. Hold up just a second. If you're not already subscribed, you better hit that subscribe button. Make sure those notification bells are turned on. With that being said, let's continue to the next step. Coming in at number 2, we're going to talk about bullet timing. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's the actual term of it, but it is when the bullet leaves the barrel of your gun to when it hits the target itself. Standing still targets is not a huge difference, but it has a lot of effect on it when you're using your gun sway, when you're aiming back and forth strafing. That timing will affect it. As you saw, when I strafe a little bit like this, the shot goes behind where the reticle is, because it's the timing in which it takes to travel to the target itself. I'll go ahead and insert a clip here of me sniping somebody, where as you can see clearly that I am aiming in front of the target, pull the trigger, and then the bullet will line up perfectly with the target itself. Tip number 3 is friendly fire. Obviously, I'm not going to go ahead and shoot my friendlies over here because that would be a bad thing. But friendly fire is a real thing in this game, and it can get you in trouble. If you friendly fire someone too much, you will lose rank, and you might even get banned if you consistently do it. You want to make sure you ID your targets and make sure they're enemies and not friends. Number 4, bullet ricochet. Bullet ricocheting is a real thing in this game. You might be wondering, why is that a big deal? Well, because if you're aiming at somebody and there's a car, you can actually bounce the bullet under the pavement under the car and hit the target. So you want to utilize that fact that you can bounce bullets off the ground. Obviously, at that point, they might not hit full power because it's a ricochet, but it's still pretty nice. Number 5, ammo capacity. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, you only need 5 or 6 mags, maybe 8 mags at total. As you can see here, I have 19 magazines for this gun. It might sound excessive, but it is not. Because if you get into a firefight, you can go through a lot of those mags real quick. A lot of times you're going to end up using a lot of those mags. You might not use all 19, but using full auto on a 30 round mag, you can dump it real quick, especially when you suppress fire. This is not Call of Duty, so you're going to have to suppress fire at times to help your team out, and maybe your team runs out of ammo, so you want to be able to have extra ammo for them. Number 6 is testing your kit. Pretty self-explanatory. When you build your kit, make sure you test it. What I mean that is spawn in, aim at the wall, make sure you're not aiming at, friendlies. Try your kit out, different sights, stuff like that. There's no harm in it. Testing your kit is always good. That way you can get attuned with your gun. The worst thing you want is to go into combat for the very first time and not knowing how your gun's gonna run. Number 7 is controlled fire. Now that can mean life and death in this game. And what I'm talking about is full auto or single shot. If your target is very close up range, you're gonna want it on full auto most of the time. But even then, you don't want to hold the trigger down and ride that trigger. You want to control burst it, so that way you can be more accurate, and you don't waste all your ammo. If my target is 100 yards out or more, 200 yards out, I will not use full auto. I'll put it on single fire only, and I'll control fire that. Because in this game, it is a milsim game, all you need is one good shot to kill the guy. So spraying bullets, realistically, is only good for close up, and suppressing fire, types of things like that. Number 8 is smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are some of the best things in this game. Now, there is a warning. I'll tell you the warning after. Smoke grenades can cover your teammates. You just go ahead and pop one down. Whenever someone is down on last stand, more or less, or if they're knocked out and you need to heal them, pop a couple of these out, wait for the smoke to build up, and you're good to, either push up on a base or heal a teammate. That being said, smoke grenades are very unpredictable depending on where the wind actually blows. I have been in situations many times where I threw smoke grenades and the wind screwed me up so bad it blew all the smoke to a different direction. And the warning I was talking about is sometimes with these mods and the smoke grenades, you'll get into a smoke grenade glitch, meaning you'll pull the pin of the smoke grenade and your guy will never throw the grenade itself. Meaning the only way to do it is respawn or die to be able to get your gun back out. Number 9, ammo types. In this game, there's a lot of different ammo types. I'm not 100% sure on the Russian side, but I'm a little bit more familiar with the American side. These are what I run right here, M995. M995 is a steel core cartridge that's an AP round. meaning it'll penetrate light armored vehicles, walls, stuff like that. These are your standard 5.56 rounds, 30 round PMag, and if you read down below, it says the last 5 rounds are tracers. So it's all normal ball rounds with the last 5 being tracers, so you know when you're about to run out of ammo, which is kind of cool. This one is the full mag is tracer, and this one right here is your standard ball rounds, no tracers at all. And then you have the 5.1T, which means it's 5-to-1 ratio of tracers. So for every 5 shots, you'll have 1 tracer round. For new users, I would say use tracer rounds. That way you can get it adjusted to the bullet timing, bullet drop, stuff like that. You can see where you're hitting. That being said, using a tracer round does give away your position. Once you get more familiar with the game, I would highly recommend switching over to the M995, which is the AP rounds. Number 10. Now, this is on number 10. There's no specific order. I feel as though this is the most important one, but some other people might not agree with this. Don't feel pressured by other players. Meaning, take your time to build your kit. There's some people, veteran Arma players, that'll sit here and be like, oh, stop playing Barbie, or get up. Like, I get it, I understand. You don't want the entire team sitting here at base, doing nothing, not helping. But you gotta understand, a lot of you are new players, viewers, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, build your kit how you want. Get used to your setup, try different things, and then once you're ready, get into combat.
What the fuck's this guy doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just doing a YouTube video.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Famous, bro.
Love you guys.
Love you too, bro.
Welcome back, gamers. This is Arma Reforger for Beginners, Part 2. Now, if you haven't seen my Part 1 already, you might want to go on my channel and check that out. It has a lot of good information about the game for beginners. This Part 2 is just an extended version of that because there is so much to learn in this game. This has a very, very large, steep learning curve, and that's why we're here, to help you guys learn how to play the game. Step 1 is the FPS. Well, you might be wondering, how is it going to help me play the game? Trust me, it will. So, on the top right hand corner, you can see I'm running 59 FPS. Now, I can get a max of 60 FPS. I have seen 61 FPS one time. It was an anomaly, you can kind of see. So you want to make sure you go into settings mode, go to quality preset, make sure it's on low, because if you're on high, it'll prioritize the graphics instead of the FPS. Making sure it's on low for the FPS. I'll show you right now. Put it on high, your quality graphics will be a little better, and you can see when I'm turning back and forth, there's a slight stutter, and I'm running 29 FPS, top right hand corner. Go back, and you go to low. It'll dull down some of the brush and the foliage, but a lot smoother gameplay. Your aiming will be a lot easier and better. You'll be hitting your shots a lot more, and you're running at 60 FPS. I mean, you're doubling your FPS right there. So if you were able to do that, I know the Xbox Series S might not be able to run that. I'm not 100%, but that is tip number 1. Hold up. Before we get into the next step, hit that like button and subscribe button, because every time you hit that button, it helps the channel out. And let's get on with the video. Now, tip number 2 is sight swapping. Now, what does sight swapping mean? So if you look at the gun I have, there's a red dot up top, and then there's the main sight, which is like a 1-4 reticle. Now, aim down sight, it's on the red dot. How can I switch down to the bottom sight? So you want to hold left trigger, the aim in button, right? Hold right bumper, and then tap Y. When you tap Y, so remember, you gotta hold left trigger, so aim in, hold right bumper, and then tap Y. I'll switch up and down. That actually brings us right into tip number 3, which is reticle illumination. Now you can see my red dot's very, very faint right now. If I need to brighten it up, you want to aim down sight, so left trigger. Now this is all console stuff. Left trigger, hold that right bumper as you did last time. Instead of tapping Y, you want to hold the Y button. Holding the Y button will activate the illumination on your reticle. Now let's move on to number 4, leaning. So you see people leaning around corners and stuff, you're not quite sure how to do it. So you don't even have to be aiming down sight. You can aim on sight while doing this or not. So your right joystick, the one you aim with, you click that down, hold it, and then you use your left joystick, left and right, to lean. Number 5 is fuel. Now why are we talking about fuel? So fuel is actually very important. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a vehicle here. So I want to fuel my vehicle up, because vehicles now don't start with 100% fuel. Sometimes they start with 3/4 tank, sometimes only a 1/4 tank. Now, if you have a fuel depot here, generally your vehicle starts with 3/4. But if you want to top it off, you have to go within range of your fuel tanks. Look over to wherever your fuel tank is. Hold Y to refuel. Simple as that. This is a constructed base right here, so we built this here, so you can build it wherever you want around the base. Or you can find on the map, there's fuel stations. As of right here, between Province and Montanak, there's a fuel station. You can stop at any one of those stations and fuel up your vehicle. There's another one in Montanak. You know, they're all over the map, so you just check your map for the icons and you can go to it. Very helpful. Alright, this brings us to number 6. So number 6 is repairing vehicles. So to repair a vehicle, I need to crash it first. There you go, crash a vehicle, right? How do you repair this vehicle? First off, you're going to make sure you want a wrench on your inventory. Now you grab that from the box. Once you have the wrench in your inventory, you want to go over to it and hit Y to equip. Once you physically have it equipped, you can repair. Now, you're not going to always be able to repair it with just the wrench itself. So the hull has no damage, so I can't repair anything. The engine, moderate damage, requires a vehicle maintenance point. So you need an actual repair truck to repair the engine. Drivetrain, insignificant supplies, so I need supplies to do it. If the hull was damaged, then you can do it with a wrench. There's certain things you could do with just a wrench. You might need supplies in other vehicles. I personally haven't repaired a lot of vehicles in my time playing this game, but I figured I'd touch on it just in case, if someone's wondering. Number 7. You might be wondering why we're looking up a hill right now. Because this is stamina. Look down to the bottom left hand corner. When I start running, you'll see a stamina bar. It's very faint, but you can see it. Now you can see there's a little animation around your screen when you let go of the stamina. You kind of, like you're winded. Now stamina is very important because look at my weapon. Look how it's swaying so much. If I squat, I don't have as much sway. So if you're getting into combat after running, you're gonna miss a lot of shots. You're gonna be shooting everywhere. So my weapon sway right now, squatting, is very minimal. Let's run up this hill for a minute, squat and aim down sight and see how bad it is. Now I'm gonna stop running at half stamina, right here. I'm gonna squat, aim on sight. It's quite a bit more, not too bad. Standing up, not too bad, because you regain stamina pretty fast squatting. Let's not squat this time. We're gonna keep running up until my stamina is completely drained. And then we'll see how it is. Okay, my stamina is completely drained. Aimed on sight. You can look how bad you're wiggling. Squat. The wiggling is quite a bit. Like, you're not gonna hit a shot really well doing that. It makes a huge difference. Also, in this game, when you're running up and down hill, you run at different speeds. So running downhill, you will run faster. You see how fast I'm running the animation? That is something new they've added in the game. It's pretty cool. Running uphill, you can't run fast. Realistic, you know. Capturing bases. Now, I'm going to try and put a clip in here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But when you go into a base and you're trying to capture it, up on the top of the screen, it'll say you are capturing the base. Or, like, friendlies are capturing the base. If you're defending a base all by yourself and you see the bar saying enemies capturing the base, that means there's more of them than you, and you want to try and hunker down.
What the fuck's this guy doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just doing a YouTube video. Yeah, I'm doing a part 2 of my tips and tricks video.
Yeah, I'm in that
Oh,
shit.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Fucking
brother.
famous, bro.
I'll put you in the video if you want.
Oh, sorry, hey,
Hell
hey.
yeah, bro.
Throw it up.
Hell yeah, brother. Love you guys.
Love you too, bro.
Yeah, they're going to the video. 100% cool guys. Guys like that on this game are sick. Alright, where was I? Number 9, healing. So we're going to talk about healing on this one. So, healing, okay, you might be like, what? Okay, so healing. You want to make sure you have plenty of bandages on you. Right now, I only have one. Actually, 2. I have 2 bandages. One here, and I can tell I want one up there. That is not enough. Usually I carry 4 to 5 bandages, because if you get hit by a bullet, or get hit in a car crash, or whatever it might be, you might have injuries. As you can see, I had that car accident earlier. My left arm, minor injury is improving, so it really won't affect me a whole lot. It will affect my sway of the gun. So how do we improve that? You can't bandage it. It's not bleeding. So with use morphine. And you can go over and find it individually, or you can go over to the left where the morphine is, and you can hold Y to use. And he'll pull out the morphine, and he does it right there. The morphine needle. as well as saline bag. I make sure I have 1 to 2 saline solution bags on me. I generally have 5 or 6 of the bandages. And I like to have at least 4 morphines on me. Night vision. Now, I actually had someone on my stream ask me this earlier. How do you use night vision goggles? Well, let me go back to base real quick to show you how to equip them in the first place. So we'll do a jump cut here, and I'll meet you back at base. Alright, we are back at base now. So, let me go into the box here. You want to make sure you're on the equipment box, not the gun box. Go to open arsenal. Now, this is a modded server, so it might be different per server. So, what I have to do is equip the helmet first. Any helmet that has like a fast MT or fast XP, which is a helmet that you can equip night vision goggles, you equip that. And that doesn't have night vision on it yet, it just has the attachment for it. Then you scroll over right, and you grab the night vision itself. This is the dual, the one I'm wearing on me right now. And sometimes it equips it right to your helmet, sometimes it puts it in your backpack. If it per se puts it in your backpack, like over here, you just go over to the item, select it, and drag it onto your helmet. So down the left hand corner is this toggle NV device. Now that's your night vision. So if you forget, double tap that right on the D-pad. It'll bring it down. Now it is bright and green right now. And you're wondering, how do you adjust brightness? Holy crap, it's daytime, can you use them? Yes. So to adjust brightness, you hold the right bumper, and then up and down on the D-pad will adjust it, up or down. Alright everybody, last but not least, mod issues. That is a huge thing that a lot of people have issues with. I don't know if I can show you the exact situation because my mods are all downloaded right now, but we'll see. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and try and download a server I have not played in a long time. Let's play Ukraine number 5 Dark Crew server. Well, I guess I have everything downloaded already for it. So, let's just say that instead of this start out downloading, a lot of times what happens is it will go automatically a red X mark on it, and it say it won't download. So then you usually try and back out, and then you push it back in, and then it'll do a red X mark. If any mod at all starts with a red X mark and won't let you download it, what you do is go up to Mod Manager, hit A, hit the select button. It'll do this weird loading glitch thing for a second. It'll just look like it's going to freeze, but it's not. This brings you all to your enabled mods and your disabled mods. So you go down to that mod that you're trying to download. Say it was this one right here. Say if this one was trying to update or download or whatever it was. In my situation here, I'd have to say it's updating because I already have it downloaded. If it tried updating to the next version and it did the red X mark thing, then what you do is delete this mod, just the one. Don't delete all of them. Obviously, you can see how to delete it. The right stick down, you just tap it and it'll delete it. If you hold it down, it'll delete all the mods, so don't do that. So yeah, you delete the mod, whatever mod that does the red X mark. Go back into the server, whatever server you're trying to download it for. Try to join the server again, and then it should allow you to do it. But obviously in this situation, the mod's fine itself. So I've been trying to get that scenario captured on my capture card, but I have not had that issue in a while. The other thing you can do, which is, it sucks to do this, quit your game. So if you're having really bad modding issues, downloading issues, whatever, and that method I told you doesn't work, make sure you're out of the game. Go to Manage Game Add-ons. Go to Save Data. Go to Reserve Space. And when you hit Reserve Space, you can clear that space. Now clearing that space will delete all your data from the game, so every mod will get deleted. Now, that's good but bad. It's bad because you have to re-download everything, but it refreshes all the mods completely. So, if deleting it individually, like I said before, doesn't work, then you might have to do that. It sucks, I know, but that's what you gotta do sometimes. With that being said, I hope that helped a lot. If it didn't, please let me know down in the comments. Tell me what I could have done better. I mean, there's so much to cover on this game. I can make another video or two out of this, just talking about tips and tricks. This game has a steep learning curve, like I said before. And please hit the like button and the subscribe button, because every time you hit that like button on a video, it pushes that out to new viewers, builds the channel up. You know, come see me in my live streams and comment down below. I would appreciate it. With that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.